Hello guys. Hello guys. Hello guys. So guys, we are here live. Hello guys.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Okay, so good afternoon, guys. This is my first YouTube live session. Guys, this is my first YouTube live session, and I hope it's really going to be fun together if we, run the theme. Guys, this is my first YouTube live session, and I hope it's really going to be fun together if we, run the theme. So I'm going to urge you guys to first, don't forget to. I'm going to urge you guys to first, don't forget to. Hope you guys can hear me. Hope you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, kindly let me know. Please notify. If you can hear me, kindly let me know. Please notify. So guys, we are quietly waiting for Fed Chair Powell speak at about 1400 West African time. That's 2 p.m. That's today. So guys, we are quietly waiting for Fed Chair Powell speak at about 1400 West African time. That's 2 p.m. That's today. The last time he spoke, I want to remember, was just give me a minute. The last time he spoke, I want to remember, was just give me a minute. Okay, he spoke on Thursday last week at around 4:55 p.m. West African time, and I want to believe his speech, if you could remember, was what made dollar to drop. So USD pairs actually rose. West African time, and I want to believe his speech, if you could remember, was what made dollar to drop. So USD pairs actually rose. So technically, what I'm on the lookout for, the major pair I'm on to right now is GBP USD. Why? Because I found a consolidation move that is interesting, and that is the one you can see here at around support of a round figure 1.38. And I think the risk reward is quite interesting. It's about 3, that's ratio 1 to 3, and we are targeting up to 160 pips from our entry. So the only thing I'm interested in is to just going for pound dollar, and we have already entered on my Telegram trading signals page, which is FX trading signals. We entered it around, I think I dropped the signal recently. I wouldn't know. I think I dropped the signal recently. For those that didn't get that, this is the signal. Okay, I dropped it on my VIP group. We entered at around 1.3830 for a stop loss at around 1.38 sorry, 1.37750 or 700. Okay, so that's about excuse me, that's about 60 pips, and we are looking to get up to, if you calculate, 1.399, 1.383 to 1.39, and that's around 160 pips. So a 60 pip stop loss to 160 pip take profit, that's around ratio 3, sorry, 1 to 3 point something. You get, that is, you're risking 60 pips for 160 pips profit. So that's it. So we're going to take a turn on GBP USD. Normally pounds isn't strong, so what we are depending on is the activity on dollar. Unlike pound yen isn't as yen technically isn't a market controller, so to speak, as dollar currently, but the pound yen kind of strength isn't the same thing as pound dollar. Dollar is a major mover of GBP USD. Unlike GBP JPY, sometimes it is the yen, sometimes it's the pound, but generally pound isn't strong for your information. GBP USD, unlike GBP JPY, sometimes it is the yen, sometimes it's the pound, but generally pound isn't strong for your information. So what we'll just do is to wait. Currently, the volatility that we would expect should come um, ahead of the New York session that will start this afternoon. That's around 13:30, 1400. Then we have the peak of the volatility around 1500. And then people begin to, maybe like an hour, 2 hours after, people begin to close their positions, and especially those scalpers. Okay, so since we are swinging, we'll simply wait to see the outcome. On the other side, or on the other hand rather, our hero USD is making effort pushing forward or upwards. My setup on Euro USD is this, and it is not something too far-fetched, and I'd like to share with you guys because I want you to see some. You see, I've tried as much as possible to make do with this channel, but what is unfavorable here is, despite the fact that so far that level 1.19 has been defended for time for a while now. What I'm beginning to see is not interesting enough for buyers. Why? Because level 1 point, level 1.198, or rather 1.199, has been the key area of resistance so far, and it's been defended for um, this is the first time the resistance 1 here, we have the resistance 2 here, and then I'm just waiting for the third resistance around, today or tomorrow, around 1.199 or close. So we'll just wait patiently and see what we have. But I'm very sure, guys, the sellers are going to push Euro USD down from 1.199. Even if it is not today, that'll be tomorrow. Because so far we've seen quite um, quite choppy market around here, and it is not something to really risk that far. If I were you, if you were awake when market opened, you would just pick a trade from 1.19 or 1.18, and then you take profit at around 1.198. That's around 100 pips. That's enough for the day, and then you just have fun with that. Then on the other side, or on the other hand, Euro JPY has been making some funny moves recently, and I don't want us to despise, excuse me, I don't want us to despise the move. So the first thing we do is let's go to the monthly time frame. Euro JPY making some funny moves recently, and I don't want us to despise, excuse me, I don't want us to despise the move. So the first thing we do is let's go to the monthly time frame. So on monthly time frame, we can see that it just made a major cross, and that cross is quite crucial. And all I'm waiting for is first I want it to peak at 131.7 thereabout, but it hasn't done that yet. It just made a major cross, and that cross is quite crucial. And all I'm waiting for is first I want it to peak at 131.7 thereabout, but it hasn't done that yet. I know 131 is going to be a major resistance. In fact, round figures, and 131, trust me, is a very round figure. In fact, 130. So what we'll do is extra as much as possible to come down to. So let's try and come down to. Yes, I'm trying to make it as neat as possible. Based on history, 133 is a key level to watch also. So let's go to weekly time frame. Well, as you can see on weekly time frame, we have 131 being a crucial level. Then we have even 132 and 133. So there was a time I tried to see if I can get a cup and handle shape from here on daily time frame, because I don't know, it might not be a real one. It might not make sense. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take my reading from here and drop it here, my Fibonacci. Then okay, so if this way Copenhagen, because in previous times I've seen Euro JPY do some very interesting Copenhagen shape, and I'm going to show you in a jiffy for you to know it actually did quite a lot Copenhagen. Okay, so let's start from here. Let me show you some Copenhagen done by Euro JPY in previous times. Since last year, the very first Copenhagen I spotted was around here, and look at it, guys. So I picked it here at this. If you look at, if you go to smaller time frame, you should get the clearer picture of it. But this is equally clear. Okay, so I'm going to mark it out. Do you guys see? It might not be exactly as you guys think about it, but it sure is a very nice one. So that's that. Then you've got the handle. You've got the handle. Okay, so sometimes I put this bolt. Sometimes I have this bolt side to it for it to, for it to look interesting, and so that you can imagine it as a cup of coffee. Okay. And see, okay, so if I were to compress the image, you would see that interestingly, this agrees with a 38 Fibonacci. That's too much of a handle. Usually, handles don't get past. Usually, handles don't go past 50 Fibonacci retracement, please. Usually, handles don't go past 50 Fibonacci retracement, please. But then as for this guy over here, we had but then as for this guy over here, we had All right, guys. So let me talk. Let me continue my talk. I think we have more viewers already. All right, guys. So let me talk. Let me continue my talk. I think we have more viewers already. Okay, so essentially, I have three, or let me say four setups currently that I've got my eyes on, and of the four setups, two of them are very plausible. Let me say four setups currently that I've got my eyes on, and of the four setups, two of them are very plausible. So the very first setup is a long-term swing, and that is Euro JPY. Okay, so you see from if you look closely from ear to ear, then down like this, there was a cup and handle formation, and that alone gave birth to this move from here up. Then it came for the retest, and this retest is the top of this cup around here, and then it went way up, and then the whole move ended up here. Also again, another cup formed here, and it's made its move up to this place. Now I'm now looking at a bigger cup here. Let me start from beginning so that you guys can understand what I'm saying. I've removed all drawings. So far on Euro JPY, I've seen like two cups that we have traded since earlier this year, thereabout. So the first cup was here. This was the first cup I spotted and I traded. Might not be the best, might not be in the best shape that you would expect. And my Fibonacci, normally when you do cup and handle, your Fibonacci start from the top of the cup and it runs down to the bottom of the cup. The normal way you know how cup shape is like a cup of coffee, something like this. The normal way you know how cup is like. Again, please look closely. This is Euro JPY and this is daily time frame. So this is the normal shape of a cup. So uh so the first thing is, if you want to be sure it's a cup, number one, a cup forms this arc shape, irrespective of however you want to see it. Like everybody knows how the shape of cup is. Please do not forget, this live trading session is, all views are my opinion, they are not investment advice. Why? Because forex is a high risk high reward thing, so you should not trade with borrowed money or money you cannot afford to lose. All these statements are directly from my coach. His name is Justin Bennett. Okay, and you know, if you're not willing to take the risk, there's no point. Okay, so let me just draw this line to show you the top of the cup. So I have connected my arc. Now it's not every arc that you see that is from this top right here to the bottom that you pick as a cup and handle shape. But then if you can, there are principles, guiding principles to how a cup and handle should be. The first thing is it must form an arc, which is something like this. The second thing is when you take a Fibonacci tool, here is my Fibonacci tool. I'm using TradingView platform. I'm not using a MetaTrader, so I'm on TradingView platform. Here is my Fibonacci tool. If you pick a Fibonacci tool and you draw it from 100 at the top of the cup, and then your zero, Fibonacci runs from 0 to 100. So if you pick it from level 100, you are going to pull it from top to bottom. So when you pick it, you draw it from from level 100 at the top to level 0 at the bottom. You can try to zoom and fill your screen with your on your phone or on whatever gadget you're using. You can try to zoom and fill your screen on your phone or whatever gadget you're using. Okay, so drawing it from level 100, if you look closely, let me try and zoom it out. Maybe zoom, I don't know whether it's zoom in or zoom out. I want to expand it. If you look closely, you will see that this level 125, price level 125 coincides with my 100. It coincides with my 100 Fibonacci level. And at about 121.6 coincides with my level 0. Now if you check, so let me make it neater. This is okay. If you check, immediately an arc like this is formed. That's the first requirement for a cup and handle. The next thing is when you draw your Fibonacci tool, the handle. Now we have the cup already. I don't think there is a cup that is named cup that does not have an handle, or a handle rather. So the handle is a retracement from the top of the cup to maybe 74.6, maybe 61.8, maybe 50, at most 38. So if it does not exceed 38.2 and you can see a rally, then a pull back upside, then you should know that these are satisfied cup and handle shape. Usually the best ones are when it retraces to 61.8 or 50 from the top. So then you pick your arc tool, you draw it again. So now I hope you can see. So this is like a cup of coffee. So usually I would put this very funny stuff on the top of it, something showing steam coming out. One of my favorite setups is cup and handle, but you don't get to see it flying around. So I prefer to spot it on higher time frame because I'm a swing trader. I can take trades for days, sometimes weeks, but I've not taken trades as long as 2 months or even 6 weeks before. But I've taken trade as long as almost a month. Okay, so this being a cup and handle. So the next, now it has satisfied two, it retraced to 38 and bounced back to form the handle. Now you don't, most likely, if you, there are ways to trading cup and handle. Immediately you spot the retracement at maybe 74 or 50 or 30. Make sure you wait for setup of candles that would form reversal pattern. So there are two candles here forming reversal pattern. You see this pin bar showing a rejection, then this other inverted hammer showing that it pulled up but came back to retest but didn't break down below this pin bar. So these two candlesticks combined together, the third one just opened as a bullish candlestick. So what the traders do, they bought. So you can always enter from that point of that you spotted. If I had spotted something like this, I would wait for above this pin bar to take a buy. That's around 123. Then I'll put my stop loss at below 122 at around 122 point something. Then I'll just continue back to the top of the cup. So once it gets to the top of the cup, you take profit because the top of the cup is likely going to be, it's not that it's likely, it is going to be a major resistance. We have inverted cup and handle, so don't you get it twisted that it's only cup is only supposed to face up. Sometimes you can put your cup upside down and the bottom will be up, then the top will be down. So this area is a strong resistance level. Okay, so immediately price retraced and then pulled up again. It got played back, it got pushed down, then it formed an inverted hammer. Now this attracted sellers again, so immediately many people sold. But the point there is, what did you see that made you to sell? Immediately this candle competed. That's why candles should not be relied upon, but they can be part of confirmation as to any setup you might have spotted. So if I were you, immediately I spotted this inverted hammer, I'm not going to trade in my best interest because you never can tell. It can actually sell and pull back down. But then it didn't sell. All of a sudden there was a strong, buy. And usually the reason this inverted hammer came was because on 30th November 2020, this this was how large financial institutions took their profits. So they made sure they placed the inverted hammer so that many people on the first trading day in December, there will be many sellers that will be trapped. So many sellers were trapped with their stop loss around this top, and then all of a sudden buyers just came in. First December, they bought from as low as 124,350 to as high as 125,900 on just one day, and that alone is about 150 pips. Usually you don't get to see performances of Euro JPY that much on the average. On the average daily, it can be like 100 pips, but you don't just see it fly around like this. So what I'm saying in essence is, now it has broken out, but anytime it breaks out, we need to see a retest. Now that's the third thing, or let me say the fourth. The first one, you pick an arc to, it forms the shape of an arc. The second one, it has a handle that has a retracement from as much as 74.6 to like 61.8 or 50 or at most 38.2, does not surpass 38.2 before pulling back in the direction it was going before. So that's the next one. Then the next criteria is it pulls back up after forming the handle, it breaks the top of the cup, okay, then it goes way up and then comes down to test that top. So all this traveling, they were to come back to test this. So usually you don't, the best thing you can do is buy at this stop, put your stop loss at the very low of the previous support. So my previous support would have been 124.30. So I'll just put my SL at 124 points, maybe 2 something, and then take a buy at 125, and then I'll just ride the trend for days. You can see it took from 1st December that I broke out till January, almost 7 weeks. You get, so all this while you will likely have seen up to 200 pips thereabout from that top, 125 to like 127. So if I were you, I would have left the trade, taken 100, and wait for the day it's going to come back to test the stop. Sometimes it tests it few days after if you spot it on daily time frame, and sometimes it tests it days, many days after, depending on the time frames, the time frame you spotted it. So now it has done the retest. Then the next thing is you're going to measure your cup from this bottom to this top. That is the height of your cup. You're going to measure it. So the height of the cup is about 300. So what I'm saying is your Fibonacci level from level 0, that's around 121.65 to 125. You're going to measure it. If I were to use my calculator, I'm gonna have, let's do the simple math. 125 minus 121.6, that's 3.4. So I have 340 pips I'm waiting for. $340 pips move. And then if you want to know how far it's going to go, immediately you spot the retest, just wait for maybe a reversal candlestick to confirm. Sometimes people take the risk because candlesticks can be so annoying. So immediately you see it spot, like sit on that level, it has that this candlestick touched 125, and don't forget 125 is a round figure, so it bounced back. So you can calculate 125 plus that 134. So 125 plus 3.4. So we are expecting a move up to 128.4. A move up to 128.4. So I'm going to bring this down. 128.4. 128.4 coincides with my 200 Fibonacci level. So usually me, I don't measure. What I do is I just pick it from that level 100 to level 200. Why? Because level 0 to level 100 is the same movement in pips as to level 100 to level 200. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I don't measure with any tool. I just expect that the same movement from 0 to 100 is the same movement from 100 to 200, and it's the same movement from 200 to 300 Fibonacci level. Because Fibonacci level is in percentage, so it continues like that. I can pick this tool and then paste it here also. From this eye, you will see it coincides with it. So now let's extend our Fibonacci tool and see what we have, if it really did what we expected it to do. So looking closely, guys, you can see this is where the cup and handle thing finished. This is where the cup and handle thing finished. So it finished around here. So it started, let me label it start. The official start was from here at 125.05. Then it ended at 128.4, and that is all we would have just traded. Now let me see the duration from 18th January to 17th February. It took a month, exactly a month, for this bullish move to complete, and it brought, or it gave 340 pips. You can see it from here, 340 pips. So that is how a cup and handle is formed. Okay, now that you know that this is a typical cup and handle thing, so the next thing, don't forget the rule number one for cup and handle is, the cup must form an arc. Rule number two is it must have a handle that retraces to 74.6 to 38.2. Any of the Fibonacci level. Then rule number three is the handle must pull back to the top of the cup. Then rule number four is the number three move must break out of the top of the cup. Then rule number five is the breakout of number four must retest sooner or later. Okay, so these are the five rules. These are the five rules you need to know in cup and handle settings. Let me space them, so if you really want to write. Like I said, my live trading sessions are going to be for educational purposes. Okay, so let me get this sticky note. Alright, so these are the rules for a cup and handle thing. The cup must form an arc. Look at it. Look at it here. The cup must form an arc like this. It must have a handle. a handle that retraces to any of the 74.6, 74.6, 61.8, 50, or 38.2 Fibonacci level. Then the handle must pull back to the top of the cup, of course, to complete the handle shape. Then number four is the number three move that forms a handle must break out of the top of the cup. Then number five says the breakout of number four must retest sooner or later. Okay, so well, technically that's it. Then after that, now that this move is complete or completed, then I spotted another cup and handle. Don't mind me if you are too used to particular setup, when it forms. So I spotted another cup and handle. It was around here I spotted it, and I picked the trade. That was this. So I picked the trade around here. Usually I'm just always on the scout for any arc shaped stuff. So I found this, and next to it I found something that looked like a handle. Then it got me thinking, okay, so what's the deal? Can I just check out the retracement if it aligns with, and I picked it like this, and I found out that it retraced like 50 Fibonacci and found support at 50 Fibonacci level, and that was interesting, of course. So what did I do? I just put my stuff on it, put my coffee on it, my steam shape. Then, to make it look interesting, and this is my handle right here. So row number one satisfied, row number two satisfied, row number three satisfied, number four it breaks out, then number five you can see it broke out on one day, continued on the second day, then came for a retest on the third day. So the retest was around 27,300. So first now do is start at 127.30. So please don't forget, from 100 to 200 Fibonacci level, you don't even need to measure, but for curiosity's sake, you measure like this from 0 to 100. We can, of course, remember to use our calculators. We can say, let's put the number often. This is 127.3 to, what's the low? 125, say 1, 125.1, 127.3 minus 125.1. That's 220 pips. So usually the move within the cup determines whether, it determines the length of the profit. So So if we are to calculate from 127.3, we're going to add this 2.2 to 127.3. That's 129.5. Let's see if that's true. Okay, so if you check closely, my 200 Fibonacci level stops at 129. It tops at 129.5. So what I'm going to do is I would have bought from here and say stop at 129.5. Although it pulled way up, but beyond that, excuse me, pulled way up beyond that. But that's a very nice setup of 220 pips. How long did it take? 1, 2, 3, from 18th February to 25th February, just a week for 220 pips. So if you put one lot on 220 pips, that's around, with all the swap for those days and all that, excuse me, that's around that's around, that's above 200, sorry, 2000 dollars. And $2,000, I'm sure you will get up to 1 million naira thereabouts if you were to trade in naira. Okay, so that's it. So the next thing is, it looks like EuroJPY has a lot to offer on Copenhagen. So I'm going to go again and see, let's count EuroJPY market to see if we have another Copenhagen. Yes, 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 I think I've spotted one already. So let me do it at the top. I think this is one. I'm not sure, I'm not certain. I need to be sure, be uncertain about moves in the market. I don't want to be trapped. Okay, so if you pull, let's see. Okay, interesting. Okay, so now I have an arc. One, rule number one satisfied. So I'll draw my Fibonacci level and see if I've got a retest. Sorry, if I've got a handle. First, this looks like something like an handle to me. Let's see if it really is. But see, my concern there is this cup is quite big, so it's supposed to give me very laudable profit. Okay, so I'm going to draw my Fibonacci level to see what's up with this. Oh, this is interesting. I have a handle of 61.8 retracement at the top, so let's make it juicy. I have this. Right, so now I can label it first cup. Let's make it big. Cup handle. Okay, so if you were to take a measurement, you can really hover here. Wow, 500, more than 550 pips. Wow, that's a lot. Now usually, I don't know how long this is going to take, but this is a whole lot. So if I'm to pick, let's go for the retest. Have we got any retest? Yes, I can see a retest here. Retest. So that's where my buy is. My retest is my start at 127. The same 127.3. It's interesting. 127.3. Let me say 35. Okay, it's interesting. Retest. Start. So I'm starting my buy from this retest. Start from, or let me put this separate. This is my retest. I'm gonna put my buy around here. Start. Say my, so I'll say start. 127.35 plus 560 pips. Let's zoom down. Um, say 127.35 minus 121.65. 5.7. Wow. 5.7. 5.7 plus 127.35. 133. So we're going to 133. You see, it's exactly the value 133. So if I were you, we still have a long way to go. Recently, we had a retracement from yesterday. So from last week, it came back to 129. And from 129, I picked a trade, Euro JPY, and it's still moving. Alright, so now that we have a retest, and then I said start, or let me merge them together. Start at 127.25. This is more reason why we've been buying Hero JPY since mid-February. If you check, Hero JPY on my Pineal FX trading signal platform, since we tried selling the second week in February, but it was a hard one. We couldn't get it. First, we started our buy from 125.5, where we had the handle, but then it didn't seem feasible to us. Then later on, we started 127 buy, February 18. Yes, from February 18. So then, ever since we've been buying and buying and buying, all the attempt sell that we've had, they were just blunders. And I don't think we even attempted that much at selling. So we kept buying and buying and buying and buying. And we're not done buying. In fact, we picked a trade this morning at we bought at 129. We bought at 129. And then so we're going to stop, excuse me, we're going to stop at 133.00. This is where we're going to, in case many of you don't know. So let's take note. So this is how far we're going. Started around this price level. So we're going this far. So far it was just like we went way up and we came to test 127 and we picked the trade again and we're still going way up. 133 is most likely Shobaka. The thing there is your JPY is just a very slow type. You understand? So that's the problem. So we're still going this way up. This way up. Just all you just need is to believe the process. You guys really need to believe the process. In fact, from 129.7, we still have a long way to go up, like up. We have a long way to go up. And I don't know why many people are running away from Euro JPY. It's a very promising pair, trust me. I can pick Euro JPY trade alone as trade. Sorry guys, I'm trying to close some trades. Okay, so that's it. Alright, so that's that on Euro JPY. I don't really have much to give to you guys today. So, but then let's take a look at Euro USD. Euro USD will still buy and stop at 1.198. at least with what I can see, 1.198 has been putting pressure on euro, what's it called, euro USD. All right. So, well, that is that about euro JPY, and I'm going to be adding more positions to hit if I spot any retracement of any kind. Now, as for GBP JPY, well, this is what I can see, and as for GBP USD, this is what I can see. I'm expecting a move up to 1.399. So, as for the case of Euro USD, my take here is, if this was a fake out, I'm expecting a very strong buy pressure to push this guy way up like this. But you see this rally in here, I don't like it. However, I'm still bullish bias. Why? Because if you see in previous time, the movement still was, within this channel. It came like this, went up, came, then went up. So it was more of a zigzag thing. So it's not like, it's just that anytime you spot um false break, we're expecting a very hard push, but then the moment we're not getting the push, we tend to lose interest in the setup. Look at how this guy is like, see, you get almost like 50% retracement. So the same thing. See, I don't want to measure this. I don't want to measure this yet. So I want to assume this is when the move will start. Let's assume the move started here, and it's going to go like this, and it's gonna go like this. So this is my take, guys. This is my take on Euro USD. I just have to believe this because most times Euro JPY and Euro USD, they don't move against each other. So I'm going to look at this as a possible fake out, And if I treat this as a possible fake out, I'm going to see this movement like this. And this is an interesting movement because it means we're going to go back to 1.215, which is actually making sense. This actually makes a lot of sense. But the thing there is, do we have it like this? So that's it. So I'm expecting something like this, something similar to this. So, so it's really difficult for me to sell anything here yet. I don't want to. Confluence. Wow, wonderful.